What do you do when you feel behind? And I'm not talking about feeling behind on a to-do list for the day or the week. I'm talking about feeling behind in your career or in your business or maybe in your life as a whole. I've been feeling that way the last couple of weeks around my business and feeling like I'm behind where I'm supposed to be. Now, I know that in reality, this is just the inner critic telling me that I'm behind because of the messages that I get as an entrepreneur to always be bigger, faster, better, more all the time. And I know that to be true, and I know that that makes me feel like I'm behind when I'm not actually behind at all. But that voice is still there. So what can you do about it? A few different things have been helping me lately to get through this feeling of being behind, and I wanted to share them with you. The first thing is to remind yourself of the progress that you have made. I thought about this and I thought, oh my God, 2 years ago, if my business had been where it is today 2 years ago, I would have been ecstatic. I wouldn't have felt behind at all. I would have been excited and just over the moon. So I need to remind myself of that progress that I've made, and you can do the same for you as well. Now, the second one is to unfollow those who make you feel behind in a game you don't even want to be playing in. Sometimes unfollow can be quite literal, like on social media, those accounts that make you feel like you're behind or like you should be doing more, when in reality, you know you probably should be doing less or taking a breath or focusing on what's most important to you. So sometimes it's quite a literal unfollow, and sometimes it's setting boundaries with those people that make you feel that way in real life. The third one I think might be the most important, and that is to reground over and over and over again in what is most important to you. Oftentimes, this feeling of being behind does not come from your own internal self and what's most important to you and your definition of success. It comes from the rules and the messages that are handed down to you. So getting clear on what really is important to you, what's the impact that you want to have, what's the life and the career that you want to lead, and literally writing that down can be a reminder that you're not actually behind on anything. Because typically what is most important to you, you can't even be behind on most of the time. And then the fourth one goes right along with that third one, was just to create the space to reconnect to that. Whether that's a hike or a quiet walk, or just sitting quietly or rereading that definition of success or journaling, it's creating some space to reconnect to yourself, to quiet that inner critic and those voices that are around you, and focus internally on your own true inner voice and what is most important to you. Now, I do want to have a little caveat here in that if you are really focusing on something that really is actually important to you and you aren't making it a priority, you aren't making the progress on it that you really want to, stop and pause and ask yourself without any judgment at all, why? What's going on? What's getting in the way of you making progress on that? I will tell you, when I wrote my first book, I had to have a couple come to Jesus talks with myself about why I wasn't prioritizing and how to make writing that book a priority on my calendar and on my time, which wasn't always easy, but it was so important for me to write it. I really wanted to. And that wasn't because of any of the messages I was getting from around me. It was really important to me. So I had to have that talk with myself. So if something is really important to you and you're not making that progress, ask yourself why and take action from there. But really delineate between what is truly important to you and some of those messages, the inner critic that's showing up and telling you you're behind when you're not actually behind, when you're actually perfect exactly where you are.